Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Okay, we're back. Hey Deb, out to lunch, how you going? Edwin, how you going? God love you. Conchega, how you going? J1. Who else have we got in here? We got Deb, yep, I said Deb. Paul, how you going, Paul? Kai, how you going? Good to see you guys. Kay, how you going? Good to see you too. Okay, let's get into it. Maxime Bernier, a Canadian politician, I believe, said, let me translate pandering Pierre's statement. Come to Canada and please do not integrate into our society. Western Standard said Polyev has a message for immigrants. Bring your culture, bring your traditions, bring your family, but do not bring foreign conflicts to our streets. Yeah, he's pandering. But it looks like you might have another politician to go for here, Maxime Bernier. I don't know, but they're coming out now everywhere. All these alternative people. How you going, Tim Ann, George? Good to see you guys. Okay, John said, what on earth is happening in Canada? This was filmed at McGill University in Montreal, Quebec. Okay, whoops. Looks like a bit of a communist meeting there. Oh, yep, says communist in there. And the music to it is the X-Files. Okay, I probably can't. Can I play 1 second of it? Okay, that's about it. About 5 seconds. Oh, this woman is an absolute batshit crazy liberal. Yeah, Gunther Egelman said Taylor Lorenz is a typical batshit crazy liberal. Well, she is. She's an absolute nutcase. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a nutcase. Okay, here she is on Fox News. See if you can make any sense from what she's saying. A bit of a master at not answering a question, but, you know, skipping around it and all over the place. Let's have a listen.
Okay, simple question. Do you condemn that? Can you take a moral stand and condemn that?
What I condemn is the violence of our system, and I would love for you to acknowledge that.
I'm not asking you to condemn the system. Taylor, do you condemn people that call for assassination?
Gosh, you're going to ask if I condemn Hamas next. This is crazy. I would love for you to acknowledge what I'm actually saying, Sean, and we seem to be talking past each other. I want to talk about the fact that half of all adults are delayed because of cost. We need to talk about that 70% of Americans, by the way, believe that the insurance company practices are responsible in part for Thompson's death. These are signs of an unhealthy...
You want to put a rationalization. I am saying anybody that wants to assassinate any innocent person is wrong. I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican or a father or a husband, and I speak that is a simple truth that anyone with a heart would easily say on national TV that you're having a hard time with.
If you want to prevent further deaths and you don't want gun violence in the street, which I think we both are aligned in wanting, right? We want peace. We do not want violence in this country, no matter what side of the political aisle it's coming from. You need to understand motives and you need to understand the ideology that people have. And that is what my job is.
Why don't you first start with the basics? I'm going to help you out. Why don't you first condemn those that want to be involved in assassination and stop talking about them being handsome and smart and intelligent and
I didn't say that I believe that. I am describing his supporters who do believe that, and I think it's very important. Just the way that I would try to understand the ideology.
Will you condemn his supporters? Last question.
Unite the Right rally. I would try to understand the ideology of anyone that would advocate for violence in this country.
No, can't stand it anymore. Can't stand it anymore. No. She can't answer a question. She's skipping around. She's the one talking past everyone. She's an absolute lunatic. Whatever happened to just answering a bloody question? Okay, anyway, back to Canada. Maxime Bernier. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Bernier vows to end imperial federalism, give back power to provinces. I don't know. It looks like it might be another party in Canada or another person at least. I don't know. Okay. Katie said more than 52% of Australians identify as Christian. What the fuck is happening in Melbourne? Why is this being broadcast on loudspeaker in the city? I'll shut up and go away. Deport. Okay? That's all I've got to say. Deport them. Unless they want to integrate, which also, you know, I believe means turn to Christianity. I don't know. Go home. Don't bring that here. Simple as that. They should be deported. Anyone who does that, the people who are doing it on loudspeaker, anyone who allows it. Okay, C3 said breaking news. Senator Van Hollen is on his way to Afghanistan in hopes to import some terrorists into America. Of course, this is a joke, okay? It is a joke. By the way, everyone mentioned here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I mention is also theory until proven fact. Okay, but this is a joke. Like, this is meant to be a joke, okay? He's going to Afghanistan next in hopes to import some terrorists. Okay, Carly Bone said Italian Prime Minister Meloni arrives in Washington ahead of meeting with Trump. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni arrived in Washington on Wednesday evening ahead of a scheduled meeting with US President Donald Trump on Thursday. Meloni will likely be carrying messages on behalf of the European Union about how to resolve the tariffs Trump placed on the 27-state group. Things are getting very interesting, I'll tell you that much. Hey, Lucette, how you going? Good to see ya. Mario Norfolk said 12-hour... Oh, this is a good one. 12-hour news recap. Okay. This was 11 hours ago, so it was 12 hours before that, okay? In the last 24 hours so far, 11 hours ago. Number one, Trump called for Federal Reserve Jerome Powell to go. The ECB is expected to cut interest rates for the 7th time. And yet too late, Jerome Powell of the Fed, who's always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was another and typical complete mess. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Number 2, in the ongoing battle with Harvard, Trump asked the Internal Revenue Service to revoke the university's tax-exempt status. It comes after he reminded them tax-exempt status is totally contingent on acting in the public interest. That's the American public interest. Not every third world country public interest. 3, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Arashi, I don't know, touched down in Moscow for some strategic discussions with Russian officials. Read, figuring out how to handle the US without blinking. On the table, regional chaos, global posturing, and those awkward indirect chats with Washington. 4, during a Southeast Asia charm offensive, China's President Xi pitched a united Asian family urging regional solidarity in the face of growing pressure from US tariffs. Number 5, Secretary of State Marco Rubio touched down in Paris with a clear message from Trump. It's time to end the war in Ukraine, with or without Europe's never-ending talkathons. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to join the talks with Macron but skip the tarmac photo op. Number 6, as the argument rages on about deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia to El Salvador, the DOJ released a handwritten 2021 statement from his wife that accused him of repeated domestic violence. She claimed he punched and scratched her eye, threw a laptop, ripped off her clothes during a separate outburst. 7, TikTok just took a page from X's community notes with its new US-only feature, Footnotes, a user-powered context tool designed to add clarity and curb chaos under viral videos. Qualified users, 6 months clean, no bans, can now apply to write footnotes and rate others too. 8, the UK Ministry of Defence has banned electric vehicles with Chinese components from sensitive military sites, worried they might be doubling as rolling spy gear. At RAF Whitton, Britain's top Intel HQ staff were told to leave their EVs 2 miles away from anything important. Walk the rest of the way. They told you to walk this way, talk this way. Okay, 9, satellite images exposed a 1,500-acre military complex rising southwest of Beijing, dubbed Beijing Military City. Analysts say it may become the world's largest command centre, outscaling even the Pentagon. And 10, United Airlines flight was forced into emergency landing after a rogue rabbit launched itself into an engine on takeoff from Denver, turning Flight 2325 into a mid-air fire show. Passengers described explosions, backfiring and full-on panic as flames burst from the Boeing 737. A rabbit, eh? What was the rabbit doing on the tarmac? Why did nobody see the rabbit and remove it? How did it get into the engine? Did it just jump in there? Okay, I don't know, but I have questions about that one. Sky News Australia said Peter Dutton has accused the Teals of operating as Greens in disguise, fiercely lashing the Bloc's voting history and questionable campaign tactic. Well, this is one thing I agree with Peter Dutton on. Okay, there won't be much, but this is the one thing I can agree with him, that Teals are Greens in disguise. Okay, don't vote for Teals. And don't vote for Greens. Put them last, with Labor, right, just above them, right? And then Liberal just above them, and then who? All the small parties. Just preference them. You are the preference. No one else preferences your votes but you. The Vigilant Fox said new Maxime Bernier demands a full inquiry to expose the politicians behind Canada's COVID tyranny. While most leaders want to sweep the past under the rug, Bernier is doing the opposite, calling for justice. We need to have a real inquiry about everything that happened during COVID-19, he said. He's not letting Canada's political elite off the hook. These people must be responsible. They want to turn the page about what they did to us during the COVID hysteria. For them, that was okay. Then he dropped the hammer. That was not okay. We had a Charter of Rights. They did not respect our Charter of Rights. He's not backing down, and he might be the only one with the courage to say it after 5 years. So well done to Maxime Bernier. I don't know how to say that, guys. I hope I'm saying it right. Sam Cooper said China, Mexico, Canada flagged in $1.4 billion fentanyl trade by US financial watchdog. Okay, so it's going all around the world here. China, Mexico, and Canada is flagged as a fentanyl trade, thing. Okay. Gunther Eagleman is thinking here. Very hard at thought there. If Carmelo Anthony is supposedly a good kid, as Liberals are saying, why was he carrying a knife on school grounds? Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. From what I can see, he's guilty, but the left is sticking up for him, and he's just got a house and a car from money he raised from a GoFundMe. Okay. Criminals are getting GoFundMes. That's what happened. I once had a GoFundMe and took it down as soon as I learned that criminals are using that site most, I think. Not all, okay? A lot of honest people, or I don't know, a lot? Half, maybe? John Goddard said the Australian government has mastered Donald Trump's art of the deal because after importing 1.2 million migrants, a few 100,000 seems okay. And after 30% inflation, 10% seems okay. And after the voice to Parliament, a native title claim over Bondi seems okay. Smart. Okay, they have the Australian, it's called the Big Ask. Okay? That's what they're talking about here. You are, but it's more like they're just doing it, You ask for a whole lot and then you take a little. Okay? So it's like a kid, 16-year-old saying, Dad, can you buy me a car? Dad says no. Kid says, can I get a tattoo then? Something like that, you know what I mean? Just a big ask, and when they say no, you go for something smaller, thinking that they might approve of that. Okay, these are all over the place at the moment. They're funny, actually. Mark Rowley said Victorians haven't forgotten about you. Staying apart keeps us together. Daniel Andrews doll. Get on the beers. There's some steps. There's a COVID thing. There's a mask that says I can't recall. And here's some syringes for your vax. Oh, dear. It's probably a silly comparison, Deb, like a car, Can I have a car then? Oh, no. Can I have a tattoo, It's probably not a good comparison, but that's kind of what it is. It's called the Big Ask. You ask for something huge, and when they say no to that, you just ask for something smaller. Mario Northall said Japan is coming in today to negotiate tariffs. We negotiate tariffs, the cost of military support and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with Treasury and Commerce secretaries. Hopefully something can be worked out which is great for Japan and the USA. The source, Truth Social. Okay. Japan's friendship test. Does being America's Pacific best friend forever actually pay off? Because I don't think it's boyfriend forever. I think it's best friend forever, right? Anyway, they're meeting with Trump now, Japan. We'll see what happens. It's all happening behind the scenes, and we just don't know exactly what's going on. Or I don't. You might. James Woods said alleged killer needs to live in a gated community because the world's a dangerous place. Colin Rugg said new Carmelo Anthony's family is using the over $400,000 raised on Give, Send, Go. Oh, Give, Send, Go. Sorry, not GoFundMe. To move into a new home, according to The Sun. Remarkable. Anthony stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in the heart, which is being praised by many throughout the country. Now Anthony is using funds from all his fans to move into a new home in a gated community. Given that Carmelo has no prior criminal history and given that this young man has not been in any sort of trouble before, $1 million is not necessary, defence attorney Mike Howard said. This family needs to be able to survive. There's been tremendous amount of pressure. I think at this point, living in a gated community, given everything, the safety of their younger children is very warranted. Security details and criminal defence are not cheap. Yeah, well, with people like this behind the gated community, you might as well take the gates down, mate. Wow. Yeah, reverse the races, have the exact same circumstances happen, the country would burn till 2029. It sure would. That is crazy. Yeah, well, the gated community is not going to be very safe for very long with someone like that in there who stabbed someone. Seriously. Mario Norfolk said China is secretly selling seized Bitcoin to boost their economy. Local Chinese governments are quietly offloading seized crypto assets despite a strict national ban on crypto trading to refill public coffers as the economy falters. They reportedly held around 15,000 Bitcoins worth $1.4 billion last year alone. Experts suggest China could instead follow Trump's lead, building strategic Bitcoin reserves to hedge against economic pressures. But for now, Beijing's local governments are cashing out via offshore markets, turning seized digital gold into quick cash. Rules be damned. There you go. I don't know if China's able to do anything, seriously, if they're going broke. I don't know, but I've been watching a lot of Asian people floating around on some watercraft thing. Wow. Doge News, Department of Government Efficiency, said the program to audit unused, unneeded credit cards has been expanded to 30 agencies. After 7 weeks, 470,000 cards have been deactivated. They just hand credit cards out to each other. Like, what the fuck is going on there? Wow. Benny Johnson said, breaking Cory Booker's arranging a group of congressmen to go to El Salvador to protest the release of a violent MS-13 terrorist. To protest the release? Release? Protest the, that he got locked up. They want him released, I think. Okay, so add another one. Cory Booker and a group of congressmen, so we'll wait and see who they are. This one, sudden and unexpected, umbilical cord truth. They cut the cords knowing, this is alleged apparently, okay? They cut those cords knowing they're packed full of stem cells. Then they try to sell those stem cells back. No way, home birth each and every time. We're not meant to cut and clamp umbilical cords. Cord circulation continues for 30 plus minutes after birth, meaning for over 30 minutes, stem cells, blood and vital nutrients are meant to be pumping into the baby. When the cord is clamped right away, the child usually gasps for air because they were receiving oxygen from the cord. This is why babies can be born underwater and not drown, as they don't need to use their lungs right away. Letting the cord detach on its own, like all animals in the wild, allows for maximum stem cell and blood transfusion to the baby, leading to healthier, more developed babies. Wow.
A woman who becomes pregnant, even if that woman suffers a miscarriage, even if that woman tragically makes the wrong choice and gets rid of the life within her through an abortion, or if the baby comes to full term, cells are exchanged between the mother and the child, so that after either a miscarriage, tragically, sadly, an abortion, or birth, those cells will remain in your body, ladies, for the rest of your life. You have living cells of all your children in your body right now, even if you had a miscarriage. Scientists discovered that when a woman becomes sick who has been a mother, they noticed certain clusters of cells from her body going to the ill area in her body and would be seeking to make her well, to fight off whether it was a disease, whether it was a sickness, whatever it was. And guess what cells those were? The cells of your children. See, maternity has its blessings. That's why even at the beginning, when Adam and Eve fell, when God says you will be saved through childbearing, the word saved literally means health. When those cells run to the defense of the mother, even if the child no longer is here on earth through a miscarriage or through an abortion, your child is fighting to save your life.
Isn't that amazing? Wow. That, that just, I put that in there because it just spun me right out, really. Pretty much. That's the only way I can say it. I was like, oh my God. If that's true, God help us. We've all been doing it wrong. No wonder we're sick from birth. Mr. Wolf says some of us have been trying to tell you. What's this? New White House Office of Science and Technology Policy Director Michael Kratsius says the US has technology that can manipulate time and space. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated. Okay. Whether you believe this or not, I don't know, but we'll find out.
Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. Our cars do not fly. Advances have not stopped, but something has gone wrong. Stagnation was a choice. We have weighed down our builders and innovators. The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy exporter and then making it harder and harder to build. We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity. Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to the...
Can you imagine? That makes traveling... that means you could get to the US in probably an hour from Australia. If that's the case... Anyway, we'll wait and see what comes of that. That is very interesting as well. Okay, the notice I said an Indian Uber driver has avoided jail for killing a young father while making an abrupt and illegal turn in Adelaide. A judge gave Kunj Patel, 31, home detention as he poses no ongoing risk to the community. Okay, look, if you've killed someone, back you go. I don't know what else to say. See ya. Seriously, I would expect if I had committed a crime and actually killed someone that I'd get deported. Mario Norfall said rabbit suicide mission sets United flight engine ablaze. A United Airlines flight was forced into an emergency landing after a rogue rabbit launched itself into an engine on takeoff from Denver, turning flight 2325 into a mid-air fire show. Excuse me if I don't believe it. Passengers described explosions, backfiring and full-on panic as flames burst from the Boeing 737. One traveller said it looked like the engine was spitting fireballs. The pilot calmly confirmed, rabbit through the number 2, that'll do it. Really? Where did the rabbit come from? And why was it allowed? Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure they check the tarmac, don't they? Oh, dear. Do they take animals on airplanes? Like, I've seen them load the cages with animals in it. What, like, did a rabbit escape or something? I'm sorry, but I'm not believing that a rabbit caused that, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll just pull a rabbit out of my hat, you know? C3 said in 2020 the SCOTUS ruled 5-4 that the US Census could not include a citizenship question. So illegals like Kilmer Garcia were counted in the US Census. This crazy decision resulted in Dems getting more congressional seats. Do you know who the deciding vote was? John Roberts. There you go. Colonel Towner Watkins said, have you ever heard of Jesse Morton? Probably not. He's a name changer too. His real name is Yunus Abdullah Muhammad, but that's inconvenient to us as an employee of a university that gets your taxpayer dollars and is associated with the CIA. He illustrates what we've discovered about Operation Gladio perfectly. Oh, and by the way, we've seen GWU as a common CIA stomping ground as well. The George Washington University hired a former recruiter of Al-Qaeda. The ex-terrorist will act as an expert on national security issues, local media reported. The new university employs a former recruiter, Jesse Morton, previously known as Yunus Abdullah Muhammad, Deputy Director of the Extremism Program in the Centre for Cyber and National Security at the university. Seamus Hughes believes that Morton could bring a unique vision of counter-terrorism activities as he was in that world and got away. Hughes thinks that the ex-recruiter of Al-Qaeda would help to understand how to reach to a person who entered on the path of radicalisation. No, you're just going to radicalise like the CIA and that, aren't you? The issue of Morton's hiring was previously discussed with representatives of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, security sector, lawyers, etc. Hughes said that he fully trusts the new employee. That gives a whole new meaning to known to the FBI now, doesn't it? That's crazy. Why would you do that? It's Tiff said trade wars exposed. 80% of Gucci made in China. 60% of Prada made in China. Louis Vuitton made in China. Hermes made in China. Birkin made in China. Shipped to Europe to get rebranded, then made in France or Milan, Italy, so it gets sewn onto the goods, retail for hundreds of thousands. I thought it was just thousands. They make endorsement deals with elite, do-nothing Hollywood snobs and shameless prostitutes like the Kardashians to represent them. Now they're all panicking. Oh, and the Lululemon leggings that retail for $118, made in China. China's now selling these items for $5, factory direct. They're all punching the air right now after Trump exposed them. They did. And I said that. As soon as I saw that, the tariffs on China, I knew what he was, like part of what he was doing anyway. Then the rest of this just came out and it's even better. Will Chamberlain said, let's tell another story about Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. This one has to do with his lawyer, Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, and how a Fourth Circuit judge and the entire media effectively got duped into underplaying the evidence that Abrigo Garcia was in MS-13. Today, AG Bondi released the underlying gang field interview sheet, GFIS, related to Abrigo Garcia's detainment in 2019, along with other documents. In the GFIS, the police officer attests that when Abrigo Garcia was arrested, he was hanging out with multiple confirmed MS-13 members, that he was wearing apparel associated with MS-13, and that a confidential source independently identified Abrigo Garcia's membership in MS-13, along with his rank and moniker in the organisation. There you go. Interestingly, when Judge Thacker wrote her concurring opinion in the Fourth Circuit decision that ruled for Abrigo Garcia, she was extremely dismissive of the evidence that he was in MS-13. She said it was thin, to say the least, and made no mention of the fact that Abrigo Garcia was detained while hanging out with two other members of MS-13. Why was that omitted? Well, let's take a look at the footnotes. Even then, the government's evidence of any connection between Abrigo Garcia and MS-13 was thin, to say the least. The government's claim was based on 1, Abrigo Garcia wearing a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie, and 2, a vague, uncorroborated allegation from a confidential informant claiming he belonged to MS-13, Western Clique in New York, a place he has never lived. Okay. Oh, no, I've got a tickle in my throat. Hang on, guys. Give me a sec. Okay, just nearly choked on myself there. Her first footnote points to SA 146 and 5. That's the underlying district court opinion. It's there. The district court opinion by Judge Zinnes also characterises the MS-13 evidence against Abrigo Garcia as weak. Nothing more than his Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie and a vague uncorroborated allegation that he was in MS-13. Again, no mention of the fact that he was arrested with 2 MS-13 members. Judge Zinnes cited ECF 31, which must have been a mistake because she was citing the very document she was writing. Totally circular, likely an error by her clerk, but it means that we don't know exactly where Judge Zinnes got this. So it just goes back and forward, like, I think judges are just like writing these things in and it's going back and forward between them. Judge Thacker's second footnote points to the addendum to the motion for stay at pages 10 and 11. This is a complaint written by Mr. Sandoval Moschenberg, and now things become clear. The reason that both Judge Zinnes and Judge Thacker underplayed the MS-13 evidence is because Mr. Sandoval Moschenberg did so in his complaint. Complaint. He's the only lawyer on the brief. No one else is responsible. The really interesting thing here is that based on what Sandoval Moschenberg put in the complaint, it's pretty clear he had access to the underlying GFIS report, and yet he didn't put that report in the record, instead choosing to underplay the cop's statement. As a result, both Judge Zinnes at the district court level and Judge Thacker on the Fourth Circuit got blindsided and themselves underplayed the evidence. Judges really don't like that. They like to be able to rely on the lawyers litigating in front of them to cut square corners. That didn't happen here. The lesson for them, as well as the media, you can't just take a plaintiff's lawyer's word as gospel. Complaints are not evidence, and it's really dumb to underplay evidence that will eventually be revealed to the public. Update, I caught Sandoval Moschenberg pushing another falsehood on the court, where he tried to discredit the CEI that identified Abrigo Garcia as MS-13. Okay, see no evil, hear no evil, say no evil. Wearing the Chicago Bulls hat represents that they are a member in good standing in the MS-13. Officers contact... Oh, give me 1 sec, guys. I'm so sorry. Of course it was the wrong number. Of course it was. Okay, anyway, that's more about the Garcia guy. Okay, but he's been sent to El Salvador, but like all the politicians are trying to go over and get him back out again. Okay, he's been beating his missus. He's an MS-13, at least an associate of them. Probably a gang member. Anyway, they're not worried about that. And Wokeness said now it's a hate crime to speak English in England. Oh, no. You've got to be kidding me.
If you do, that would be really handy for us. But apparently during some conversations between yourself, apparently you have alleged, we weren't here, so I don't know who said it, but you've alleged to say, speak English, or words to that effect?
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly.
No,
okay.
the gentleman's partially deaf.
Yeah, he
can
speak clearly. Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, so they went and approached him because they said someone said he said speak English. He couldn't hear them. Okay? Bit deaf. Anyway, for this copper here, speak it English?
Did we just know this was going to happen?
No, I know. People, if someone says to me, officer, I believe this, then we need to look at it because someone's potentially...
Speak it English, speak it English, speak it English. There you go. Mate, come and arrest me. I'm not in England, but though. Drogo said, told ya there will be no war with Iran. Trump waved off planned Israel attack on Iran to pursue negotiated nuclear deal. Okay? There you go. GB, I'm making it real quick. GB News said King Charles praises Islam and Judaism in surprising Easter message. He did what? Praises Islam and Judaism. And I'm not even going to... I've got no words. How? When it doesn't even go together. By the way, guys, happy Good Friday. Is it Good Friday? I'm pretty sure it's Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to everybody. Happy Easter. Okay, I'm eating fish today. It's Good Friday, so I'm not going to eat meat. Okay, Matt Couch said I'm with stupid. Oh yeah, the haircut. What do you call this haircut? Matt Couch said that I'm with stupid. 2 rats on their head. That's what it looks like. What the hell is this haircut? Mate, I'd be suing whoever did this to me. That's crazy. She doesn't look real happy with it. Like, I don't know. she's putting on the face, but it's not coming through, it's not coming through the eyes and the rest of the face. That just looks like 2 rats on your head. Why the hell would you do that? Oh, and here we go, 3947. Oh, this happened the other day on April the 11th, a week ago nearly. Yeah, I started getting tagged all over the place on Twitter. Okay, this was, wow. When was this? Back in 2020? Anyway, there I am. All I'm saying is, look. Australia here, where we go one, we go all. That's it. What was that? I just missed, there was a yellow thing here. I'm going to have to pause it on it if I'm going to have to listen to the video again now and pause it on that. Wow. So anyway, I got all tagged all over the place on Twitter or X. Just for that. Wow. Who knew? I've got a few people following me on Twitter from it too, apparently. Libs of TikTok said Adam Kinzinger calls to take to the streets to protest Trump. Sounds kind of insurrection-y. Yeah, let's have a listen to Adam Kinzinger.
Listen, we are in unbelievably uncharted territory here. And, we're approaching the point where, honestly, it's like we're all going to have to take to the streets or something. Listen.
Losing a bit of money there, are you, mate? Something not working out for you there? Yep. Doing the diddly with the system, I think. Okay, Robbie Starbuck said, wow, the TN Star just broke a huge story. You know the illegal immigrant that Democrats are trying to free from an El Salvador prison? There you go. In 2022, he was stopped driving without a license on a Tennessee highway. Patrol suspected him of trafficking the 7 people inside. THP then learned he was on a terrorist watch list, so they called Biden's FBI, but Biden's FBI told THP to release him. Kilmar Brigo Garcia was then released due to the Biden FBI order, and the THP concerns about trafficking were ignored by the government. This is on top of a court plus Maryland police finding that they believe he was an MS-13, and his wife reporting that he beat her when filing for a protective order. This is who Democrats want in our country. This is who they're fighting for. Evil. Wow. Bad hombre said you got to love how Trump waited until Van Hollen was on the ground in El Salvador, making a complete fool of himself just to drop the motherload of irrefutable evidence, exposing just how much of a scumbag the MS-13 gangbanger really is. It's called We Do a Little Trolling. Okay? That's what all this has been released when Van Hollen was on the ground in El Salvador trying to get this man released. Protect Australia's food, fibre and security. Posted this. Australian Patriot. Did you know China owns 7.8 million hectares of Australia's land? 40% of our pubs, 34 hospitals, the largest coal mining companies, the 3rd largest stake of Australian water, Energy Australia, Alinta Energy, and 38% of the dairy industry. Did you know that? I didn't know. I knew, had a fair idea, but didn't know how much percentage it all was and how many of them they own. Shit, eh? Okay. Libs of TikTok said we don't do prayer. Mum is silenced and told by the mayor to stop praying at Ventura, California City Council meeting. What the fuck?
Hi, I'm Taryn Swain. I'm a mother of 6, and the Ventura County Public School socially transitioned my daughter without my consent. I'm come here today to offer nothing but prayer, and I want to lift up my Father in heaven. Father God, I just come to you in Jesus' name. I pray, Father, that you would tear down the strongholds in this place. I pray, Father, that you would raise up the men in this room.
Stop.
I pray, Father.
your demons are showing, people. Not hers. The people who are yelling and screaming in the background. Wow, that's just triggered some demons, man.
That you would
stop.
I pray that you would raise up.
Stop the time. Speaker.
Everybody on this. Everybody.
Stop. Stop.
Yep.
Stop. Stop. Thank you. We don't do prayer. Please finish your comments.
Demons
finish
clapping.
Your comments. Finish your comments, please. You have 28 seconds.
And I do pray all this in the name of the Jesus, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you.
Jesus is the King of Kings, and He is the Lord of Lords. And I pray that all the high places here will be torn down in the name of Christ. Jesus is the Lord of Lords, and every knee will bow.
Your time is up. Thank you. Your time is.
They wouldn't even let the demons are coming out. Mate. The demons are showing. Sorry. All those people, and you could hear it in their voices. They were like growling. Oh my God. Okay, Ian Miles Chong said Putin has high praise for Elon Musk, placing him in the same league as Russian technologist and visionary Sergei Korolev. During a conversation with Russian students, President Vladimir Putin praised Elon Musk, comparing him to Sergei Korolev, the legendary Soviet engineer who masterminded the USSR's space program in the mid-20th century. Putin remarked that visionaries like Musk, whom he likened to the brilliant Korolev, are rare. Korolev's groundbreaking work propelled the Soviet Union to historic achievements, such as launching Sputnik and sending the first human into space. There you go. Putin is praising Elon. Colin Ruggs said, new girl King lashes out against people, calling her 10-minute trip to space a ride, compares herself to Alan Shepard, who walked on the moon. Get a grip, will you, lady? King suggested that people are being misogynistic by saying she, Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez went on a ride. I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. Well, you can continue to be disappointed and saddened by it because all you did was go for a ride. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. You're not inspiring anything. You're inspiring other women to just get on in one of those, I don't know, look like a freaking blow-up tent to me. Okay, do we want to hear her? I don't really, but yeah.
This is what bothers me, because I've certainly read some of the things online, coming from people that I know, that I like, that I consider friends. And this is what I would say to that. Space is not an either or, it's a both and. And because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner.
Why didn't you stay there then? Why didn't they drop you all off in space if they're getting rid of the waste in space? I would have dropped you all off, left you there.
I mean, Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number one. Number two, have you been? Have you been? If you've been and you still feel that way after you come back, please let's have a conversation. Number three, please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we
You're not a fucking astronaut.
Trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much. No one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous. Or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did. And
what did you actually do? Like, while you were there, what did you actually do? Other than have a flower and a stuffed toy and floating around? Like, serious. You're not a freaking astronaut, you stupid woman.
And the machine that we were on, and what it took for the people to get that machine up and running, to get us up and get us back down safely.
Yeah, but you weren't in charge of that machine. You weren't piloting the machine. You're not an astronaut.
So, you know, I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not me. And how inspired they are.
Oh, my God.
This is what...
I don't know what she's inspiring women to do. Yeah. Get in a blow-up tent. Anyway, Mario Northall said Chinese Elon doing the Trump dance might be one of the best things I've seen today. Is this CGI or something? Okay, let's have a look.
Hi, everyone. I'm Iluma. Hi, everyone. I'm Iluma.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's funny as. Oh, my God. I don't know if that's AI. I think it is. But, geez, that was funny. Brian Cates, political columnist, says social media influencers trying to convince you over the past several weeks that Trump's controlled by Zionist wing of the CIA, MIC, ICS, globalist cult, and was going to launch himself all gung-ho into a war with Iran are looking pretty freaking stupid right about now, no? Yep. They're having talks, okay? And by the way, Muslims and Israel don't get along, by the way. If that's what, I mean, that's what the Palestinian-Israel conflict is over. Okay, leading report said breaking President Trump reportedly halted a strike on Iranian nuclear sites in favour of negotiations instead. Because I believe they've all panicked and gone, we better go to the table. Okay, Pauline Hanson here in Australia said you hear Labor and the Greens talk about white privilege, but never about this. In Campbelltown, Tasmania, not to be confused with Campbelltown in New South Wales, Campbelltown, Tasmania, there's a convict brick trail that tells the real story. Each brick carries the name of a convict, one of nearly 200,000 men, women, children, sent here from 1788 onwards. They were white, they were poor, and they were punished for trying to survive. Torn from their homes, shipped across the world, beaten, imprisoned, worked to the bone. So much of modern Australia was built on their backs, their pain, their sacrifice. But their story is being wiped from the history books because it doesn't suit the narrative. That's a disgrace. Next time someone throws around the term white privilege, show them these bricks because this country was built from these bricks. On May the 3rd, vote for the only party willing to speak the truth. One Nation stands for Australians. The major parties would rather forget. So do all the small parties, including One Nation, all them. The opinionated black woman auntie said the filthy maggots. What's News said some recent footage from Dunda Viking shows a man in rural Queensland being arrested after trying to prevent the police and members of the National Fire Ant Eradication Program from forcefully spraying his property with harmful chemicals. These chemicals pose a substantial risk to both his animals and property, despite the owner not having any fire ants on the property to begin with. I can easily see these kinds of laws and organisations being used in the future to govern everything we do, regardless of how far away from the cities we decide to live. Whether that be the amount of livestock we're allowed to have or maybe even our supposed carbon emission output. Just saying, disgusting stuff to watch, though. Okay, let's have a look.
This is Trevor's property rights here, people. This is Trevor's property rights being walked over. This is it. This is your property rights in action. Here we go, look. Here we go. There's no fire ants on the property, and this is what's happening. Listen, out of my face. I haven't got through. Watch out, watch out.
You are obstructing me from opening the gate. Please watch out so you don't get hurt when I open the gate.
My reasonable excuse has not been listened to.
You're getting rough, man.
Has not listened to my reasonable excuses. Trying to save his horses. Look, they're freaking out down the back here. Just stop! You're going to put the horses through the damn fence! Stop the horses! Don't know what you're doing. Stop! Get out! You'll put those horses through the fence. Get out! You might get cross like yourself.
Just been arrested.
Hey, Sarah, they've arrested him.
I can't, my phone is not working.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I just want like these people.
I know what you want, but that's not going to happen. I'm asking you now if you'd like some water. No, it's all right.
Right, Trevor, I'm going to be escorting you back to the police car. I'd like you to walk nicely and calmly with me, okay?
You're going to be facing this kind of thing at lots of properties, I can guarantee you.
They're just spread over the entire paddock.
Okay, they're spreading the poison over the entire paddock and the horses will be eating that grass and everything else. Okay? Okay. Wow. Rational Aussie said Albo's McMansion should be turned into dog boxes for low-quality immigrants from third world countries to live in. After all, that's his answer to the housing crisis. Supply, supply, supply. He should put his money where his mouth is. Put the dog boxes right next to him. Morgan Cox said, I'll be here outside Albo's $4.6 million mansion on behalf of 3.5 million Australians in poverty or facing homelessness. All we want is to be heard. Everyone deserves a home. Albo.
I'm here at Albo's $4.5 million mansion. We've just driven down his $100 million road. We're here on behalf of 3.5 million other Australians who are struggling, who are in poverty, facing homelessness. All we want is to be heard. All we want is for the politicians to listen to us. Everybody deserves a home, Albo. If you're watching this, if you could go to costoflivingcasualties.com.au and just tell us your story. We'd love to hear it, and we'd love to pass it on to some of those politicians and just let them know how we're really struggling. And I just hope that we can make this country a better place to live. I'm here at Albo.
Okay, what we're seeing is the Great Awakening, guys. I know you're talking about Tartaria in the comments, but just to you got to walk people back slowly, mate. This is what's happening. Okay. Michael O'Keefe said Conor McGregor showing Tucker Carlson around Dublin today. Tucker spent years talking about Ireland's migrant crisis, and now he's come to see it for himself. So Tucker Carlson's gone over to Ireland to meet with Conor McGregor and have him show him around. There you go. Tucker Carlson News said Breaking Doge just announced their plan to bring back trillions of dollars stolen by corrupt politicians. Take this with a grain of salt. It's not real Tucker Carlson. It's just Tucker Carlson News, which could be anyone. Do you support seizing assets from corrupt officials? Yes or no? Yeah, if it happens. Cointelegraph. The new court has granted a 60-day pause in the SEC Ripple appeals case following a joint request from both parties amid ongoing settlement negotiations. The SEC is expected to file a status report by June the 15th, which has to do with XRP and Ripple. Okay. So it's been put off for another 60 or 90 days? 60 days. Gandalf said MMPTL, whatever that is. What's that? Okay. Start filing your FOIAs. It's time to turn up the heat. This is how we watch the House of Cards crumbling down. The SEC has protected BDs and HFs for too long. It's time to ramp up the public pressure, expose the collusion, and hold them all accountable. Okay. Just bear with me. Reese Politics said, shocker, the SEC is refusing to give Doge access to staff emails, personal data, contracts and payment systems, which in essence doesn't let Doge do anything. Does anyone else find this incredibly suspicious on behalf of the SEC? What are they trying to hide? Oh, I'm sure they're hiding a lot. Okay? They're resisting Doge at the moment, the SEC. And Tom Fitton said, alert, lawsuit filed for Epstein files against Pam Bondi and DOJ. Tom Fitton is Judicial Watch is suing DOJ over Epstein client list. So we'll see what happens there. Holly Robinson Pete said, my 27-year-old son with autism didn't destroy our family. He gave us purpose and unity. Oh, and he pays taxes. Look, this woman does not understand, right? Okay, because JFK Jr. Is talking about autism, okay? Autism is a spectrum disorder. Some parents have it more difficult than others. You can't generalize your experience with other parents who care for autistic children. I have friends with autistic children who cannot even speak. Okay, they cannot function and they need their parents for the rest of their lives. Anyway, this girl got ratioed in the comments, full on. Yeah, so, but a lot of people are going at him, but people are saying to her also, don't you want to know where autism comes from? Because they all think it's genetic, even though like 2 or 3 generations ago, none of their families ever had it. This, I think I'm going to have to put in the folder. I don't think I can play it here. It's 9 minutes long. And that's it for today. That's an hour's worth of news. There you go. Okay. Oh, I'm back at the beginning. Edwin said, hello, a beautiful thumbnail of Nicole Kidman before her marriage to Tom Cruise. It is my opinion that Miss Heaven is much more attractive than Nicole Kidman. Miss Heaven, have a great telecast. Blessings always. Oh, God love you. Edwin, you too. God bless you. Conchega is telling Mr. Edwin that Nicole Kidman was born a male. Tom Cruise. Yeah, Conchega. We know that, okay. Mr. Edwin's just a lovely, lovely man. He's a lovely man. He's not from this genre of, I believe, YouTube, you know. He's more, he came from MRE and that, the mob talk stuff, you know, but he's a lovely gentleman. So, Deb said, hello, dear Edwin. Lovely to see you. And yes, she does remind us, is our beautiful Australian Nicole Kidman. Deb said, may God bless you and your family too, Mr. Edwin. Deb said, this is my morning dopamine. Thank you, heaven. It's God love you. Deb said, this is very motivating music. It is, isn't it? Oh, you know what I've been watching? And, it made me feel really a certain kind of way, right? I've been watching these, and maybe it's the music. I don't know. But, I don't know, it made me feel something. I can't even describe it. Watch this, guys. Okay. Hang on. Okay. I've been playing a lot of them, right? And honestly, I don't know. It made me feel something I haven't felt in years. Everyone, enjoy your youth while you have it, okay? If you're listening to this and you are young, enjoy your youth. It is such a beautiful thing to watch. And I've been watching heaps of them. It looks like a very fun thing to do. The men seem to me to be very strong. And funnily enough, like, they're handsome men, right? Okay, they're handsome young men. Okay? I find that you have good-looking people in every race, okay? And they seem very strong and very capable. And maybe that's just what it is. Strong, capable men. They're hanging on to the ladies, even little kids, look. If I could work out how to play it without the music, I would, but I can't. I don't know. There's no buttons to stop it. I've also been watching these things, right? I did aerobics yesterday, by the way, because that other short, I've been watching a lot of shorts lately. And I'm stuck on this guy and his mate who go into, oh, well, they do everything. They go into shops, they're on the street, they're dancing, they get people dancing with them. I think it's just a lovely thing to do. Same as this. It's a lovely thing, gives people happiness for a few minutes, you know. And I have watched what went wrong on one of these, and the most that goes wrong is they get stuck in the water and they're riding around like a speedboat, like they are a speedboat themselves, okay? So the most you can do is pretty much dunk yourself in the water. From what I can see anyway. But yeah, I've been watching a whole lot of that, and it's just, I don't know, the feeling I got from it was like, oh my God. I would love to feel that, you know, in real life. Hey, I don't get out much, do I? Shit. I need to get out more, I've realised, man. I really need to get out. Okay. Deb said, I feel good when I hear this music, knowing we all get to say hi. Kai said, my morning dopamine is the most racist song ever parody. Oh, okay. Kay said, listening in London. Kai said, it hits everyone twice in each stanza. And Timmy was here. And George is here. And Deb said, hello to our doctor in the house, Timmy, and hello, George. Kai said, sorry, new designation, Dr. T. Deb said, drag in space was fake. Who would have guessed? Deb said, rude, rude. Kai said, oh, by the way, I heard today Japan has run out of rice. They're dipping into their reserves now. Wow. Deb said, you can't take out on for another. Can't take out one for another? Kai said, they're begging another religious conflict, like when we had knights on horses. And Lucette joined us. How you going, Lucette? Kai said, deep east, it's already started a cleansing. Yeah, I believe, look, the whole world's getting cleansed, China too. And like China, I don't mind the Chinese people, okay? Honestly, they're lovely people. I just don't like their government, like what their government does, you know? You'd have a stack hat on, Stu? Yeah, I probably would for the first time around. No, I'd love to do that. I don't know. It made me think. Can I say that? And I can't stop watching them. So after I leave here today, I'm going to be watching even more of them. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to find another one. Where are they all? I know.
You need some help?
Oh. Anyway, some good shorts on here. There's some good shorts on there, but, you know, yeah, I'm going to go there and watch a bit more afterwards now. Just make me feel good, that's all. I'm allowed to feel good. And if it takes watching those things, then that's what I'm going to do. Deb said, bunny danger, Easter bunny is dead. No Easter eggs now. Yeah, the rabbit jumped into the plane engine. Committed suicide. Kai said, those time it's the Christians' turn to be the targets, apparently this time, yep. Conchega said that's a fake Peter Dutton who's been removed along with the traitor Albo, yep. Kai said, most of our country's already filled with these people that do the cleaning. I believe so. Conchega said our elections being mentioned in dispatches, look out for something big to drop. Last 3 decades have been fraudulent, much the same as the US when Biden got in. I agree with that fully, Conchega Yowie. I really do. Deb said, and a lot of weak people taking advantage of GoFundMe. Yeah, there are. Yep, there really are. I don't like any of it now. Not GoFundMe, not Give, Send, Go, unless like I'm stuck in a lawyer situation where I need money for a lawyer or something. No. Deb said a car, care of a tattoo. Conchega said Deb, and a lot of money being held back by the GoFundMe. Kai said that dude is a murderer flat out. Deb said you let the criminal inside. Kai said they gamed the system in plain sight. Bluntly, they did. Shannon, how you going? Good to see ya. Out to lunch said only gated community should be prison. Yes, exactly. Out to lunch. That's the only gated community he should be in. Stu said Dictator Dan, voodoo dolls comes with the pins. Oh, yep. You could. Yeah, Stu. I don't know if I'm going to get... Actually, I should check to see if I did get censored. If yesterday's video got censored, content, lives. No? Because I played a short yesterday. I've played a couple more today. I'm going to leave that and see if it gets hit. Okay? I just got a few cleared as well. See, copyright. Fucking copyright. I don't know. I've appealed a few of them. And I think some of them have come back. I'm free from copyright, okay? So, go back. Oh, okay. I'm back at God knows where. Anyway, let's go back over here. Okay. J1 said the better Bitcoin XRP. Yep. Yo, Shannon. Deb said now they take it all for research purposes. My daughter had a lot and they asked her to donate, or Lucette said, wow, that stuff about umbilical cords fascinating, isn't it? Very, very interesting. And could be another reason why we are all sick. Conchega said your birth certificate trust comes from the placenta of the deceased child. That was sad, actually, that whole umbilical cord thing. Like, it's really heartwarming but sad, but, you know, that we've lost touch that much. J1 said my dentist rang me a couple of nights ago asking how much XRP he should buy, lol. Oh, well done, J1. Well done. I think I've got 200. I think. Now. Out to lunch said I would only buy as much as you're willing to lose, right? Yes, definitely. Yes. Lady Stardust said I was born at home in 1958 with a friend of my mum present. I'm grateful for that and for my perfect health. Well done, Lady Stardust, to your mum. Well done to your mum for having a home birth. I was born in a hospital. You're born in a hospital, you die in a hospital. No, I want to die at home, thank you very much. I don't want to die in a hospital. I couldn't imagine a worse way to go. I'm sorry, but really? What an unfeeling place. Put me on land somewhere, right? With like, set me up on a bed out in the field and just let me rot, okay? Fair enough, okay. Kai said, yep, like gambling, only bet what you're ready to lose. J1 said portals. Yeah. Conchega said, Lady Stardust, are you aware of the land and not of the water? You are aware of the land and not of the water, sorry. Deb said, I can fly to California. I think it is right from Adelaide now. Oh, really? Conchega said there was a magician on board. It got out of his top hat. The rabbit. Out to lunch said the suction of the jet has to be great. Yeah, but where did the rabbit come from? Like, I don't know. Deb said Monty Python knew how dangerous rabbits were. Out to lunch said the jet engine can suck a human into the engines. Yes. Kai said, remember that guy that got sucked into fighter jet engine? He lived, poor bastard. Yeah. Bet he looked like a slinky on the other side, poor bloke. Conchega said modern jet engines run on high compressed air. Tim said anything in front of those engines will get sucked in, and rabbits are very definitely an issue at airports here in Colorado, especially DIA, since the runways are surrounded by miles of fields. Thank you, Tim. Okay, I needed to know that because I just didn't believe, I don't know. I couldn't believe that a rabbit could do that. But maybe it can. Kai said, sweet, constant hazard. Out to lunch said, thumbs up, Timmy. George saying hello to everyone. Shannon said, not the Easter Bunny. Kids, no chocolates this year. Deb said, it's on film out to lunch of a man getting sucked into a jet engine. I think it's a stupid way to die. Wow. Kai said, bunny chunks. Stu said, I fear that it was the Easter bunny, Shannon. Tim S. said, DIA does have trained predator birds that pick the rabbits off, but the birds can't be on the field for long periods of time for obvious reasons. A more hilarious issue is rabbits love wires, and long-term parking at DIA is a no-no if you don't want your wiring harness eaten by rabbits. Oh, really? Wow. Thank you, Timmy. God love you for filling me in. I had no idea, see? So I was just like, oh, I can't believe that until I learn more. And Timmy just taught me more. Deb said Easter Bunny must have missed the flight and thought he'd get in by the rabbit hole they provided. Kai said fringe animals are a headache unless hunting. Deb's laughing at Timmy. Deb said, I've not had a rabbit stew for a long time. I don't think I've ever had rabbit stew. Kai said, rabbit meat's just the worst in my opinion. Pure yuck. Well, probably a good thing I haven't had it then. Conchega said, Deb, those were the days. My dad was a trapper in the 60s, had over 450 traps. We used to take 100 out when we went camping as youngsters. Great times growing up in the bush. George said, the UK police are clowns. Hey, Paranormal Oz, how you going? You busy working, but you're listening? God love you. Deb said, cigarette changes have started in Adelaide. My friend's going around for the last couple of days buying as many boxes of menthol cigarettes. Filters, menthol, she comes from the country. Oh, wow. Deb said, yes, Easter, Good Friday to all. Happy Easter. Conchega said, George, when they are also a registered corporation along with your courts and councils. Kai said, nicotine addiction, physical urge fades within a week. After that, it's missed habit like a fidget spinner. Oh, wow. There you go. George said, yeah, I know, Conchega. Deb said, I did not say happy after hearing the bunny will not be coming now. Conchega said, George, they're not sending the dickheads out here. They have no idea they're working for corporations. J1 said, crying Adam. George said, happy Easter heaven, everyone. God love you. Kai said, I'm in Tennessee. It's as crooked as a snake on the run. Maria, how you going? Greetings to all. Hoping all Good Friday, happy Easter, everyone. God. Deb said, I had a menthol cigarette in protest yesterday. Really? Don't start smoking again, Deb. Conchega said, Deb, the only reason rabbit stew is used is because it's about the fertility goddess Ishtar, the rabbit being associated with being fertile, yeah, breeding like rabbits, and the eggs represent its turds. Oh, wow. Don't know if I'll ever eat an Easter egg again after that one, Conchega. Oh, dear. Maria said, God Almighty is risen, yes. Out to lunch said Democrats were the ones that crucified Jesus, I believe. Yeah, well, the way they're behaving, I wouldn't put it past them. Deb said, yes, they do, China and a port to come and go from. Sorry, China's already here. Stu said, I might go out and wish all the Muslims a happy Easter. Oh, that's going to go down well, Stu. Deb said, great job, Stu. Kai said, happy rabbit shit day. Stu said, she sounds like the nutcase that stole the cop car. Deb said, in Jesus' name, amen. Amen, said J1. The Creator. Kai said, the Creator will have his way. Everyone is saying amen. Kai said, there's no discussion. Deb said, God made them too. Yeah. But their demons got a bit triggered during the prayer she was doing, you know. Conchega said, Jesus is an English interpretation. He is of Hebrew. Yeshua translate to Joshua. Yep. Deb said, love it even say it's all fake. Stu said, I found out yesterday that one of my schoolmates from junior school's sister is Kate Blanchett. I never knew. They all heard girl germs back then when I would have ignored her. Well done, Stu. Kai said, if God is perfect light, then everything is made of God, then everything is just lesser light shed from God. God is everything. Deb said, write a big one, like they write a big one. Good luck to them who like it big. What are you talking about there, Deb? Deb said, oh my God, she thinks she's so exalted. Oh, yep. Conchega said, Deb, God's Elohim means of the plural. They have changed the writings and the King James versions from a Freemason king and his scribes and their interpretations. Kai said, it's how to keep a happy wife. Lucette said, Hev, You guys seen the meme about the space trip, a picture of a capsule with the words, space returns unwanted Amazon delivery? That's a good one. MJ said, look at me, look at what I can do, dumb waffle. Yeah, exactly, MJ. She was just like, honestly, she's brain dead. They didn't do anything up there. They're not astronauts. They're nothings that went up there and did not pilot the thing, didn't do any work on it, so they're not frickin' astronauts or even crew. They're passengers. Okay. Just now we got that sorted out. Double Agent Provocateur, how you going? Yizzo Hev, these astronauts are insane. Yeah, they are. They're not astronauts. They're not like astronauts. Yeah, okay, we'll call them astronauts. Okay, they're not astronauts. God love you. Good to see you anyway, Double Agent. Kai said they didn't even launch. No. Deb said it's a dildo ad, really? Yeah, it looked like one. The thing they went up in. Stu said, wouldn't surprise me. That's why I can't remember him, her. Kai said, Deb, oh my God, yes, it was subliminal advertising. Deb said, yes, cows are getting sick from the ban on cow farts food. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. J1 said, minor parties will have a few wins this election, I'm tipping. Yep, I think so too. And on the cow farts, does anyone remember a few years ago in America, all the cows swelling up and falling over? I wonder if they did it to them. Conchega said, Pauline Hanson BS, Tasmania was already a land of construction from Tartaria. The majority of the buildings were already there. No convict constructed any of those buildings. MJ said, cult, I'm sorry. Lucette asked Conchega if that was true. Kai said, saw a clip this morning of a guy trying to feed a bear a McDonald's cheeseburger. The bear would not eat it. Dude tried several times. Yeah, not many animals will eat a hamburger from McDonald's. J1 said, Queensland Police prosecutor husband owns the rights to fire ant contract. Yes, they do. Yep. They should be sacked, the Queensland, whoever she is. Deb said, yes, Conchega is spot on. Lucette said, wow. Kai said, code founded means they found it. Established means built. Stu said, they think they own everything. Urgh. Conchega said, police attending a civil matter whilst armed are committing crimes. Corporate governments have no jurisdiction nor their departments. Trespass prevails. Many HCA precedents on that matter. I'm sure somewhere or another he's going to find that out now. A lot of people are going to be doing research on how to get him out of it. I'm sure they'll come across it somehow, Conchega. Kai said, founded in blah, blah is the year they found it. Kai said, the channel My Lunch Break has covered the subject perfectly, highly suggested. Okay, like My Lunch Break for anyone who interested in Tartaria, I think. Is that what it's about? J1 said, assets seized. Yep. Deb said, yes, the very poor boy coming from housing is now giving us the shaft. Albanese living high on the hog because the bullied little boy got into the club by selling us out. Yeah, well, if he was living in housing commission, you know his mum sent him to a private school. I don't know many people who live in housing commission that can afford to send their children to a private school. So I'm thinking that his past is bullshit. Conchega said, Lucette, yes, they were an invasion force, not prisoners. Freemason means to free the Mason. They were dug out from previous mud floods, same as Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide. Whoa, and there it jumped. Okay, I'm about here somewhere. Deb said, you'll be told what you can drink next. Yeah, you can be told when you can breathe next. Paranormal Oz said, hi, everyone. Hope you're well. Good to see you, Paranormal Oz. Double Agent Provocateur said they're hiding decades of corruption. Yes, they are. It goes back before the early 1900s even. Paranormal Oz said, I heard this on a redacted, very interesting. On redacted, very interesting. And J1 said, Deb, yep, they all fail upwards. Yeah, they do. Funny that. Kai said, what would you say if I told you that we, America, can manipulate time and space, currently doing it? I would not be surprised at this point. Stu said Kate went to CLC, her bro Ivanhoe Grammar. He had cerebral palsy. Her parents came over from Texas after the 2 world wars. I can find that out, Yowie. Deb said Large Hadron Collider is changing time and space. Conchega said Stuart was outed years ago, mate. Kai said Hadron is trying to open a portal. J1 said ley lines. MJ said, yep, it was beautiful, that clip. When she let go, yep. Deb said, wow, that's so cool, isn't it? It is gorgeous. It kind of like, honestly, those videos make me feel like I wish I was young again for a start and not sick. And then, like, I'd love to go and do something like that. But I think it's also like the thought of a strong man. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, they're too young for me, all them, you know, but I mean, can you imagine it? I don't know. I'm dreaming here. Don't mind me. Tell us you're dreaming, mate. Kai said a collapse of all dimensions into one. Shannon said Hev's having princess fantasies. Yes, I must be. Yep, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I'd love to try it. It looks so freeing to do. Kai said America is doing Doctor Who shit. Stu said, no, thanks, Hev, I'll pass on that. MJ said, Hev, you should do that. Yeah, but where? Do I have to go to China to do it? Oh, dear. Double Agent Provocateur said Edwin must be on battery power. Didn't Puerto Rico have a power outage? Yes, I think he's got a generator. Double Agent Provocateur. I think Mr. Edwin has a power as a generator, I believe. Good on him, because he's like forward-thinking man, you know? Kai said gambling with timeline change outcomes. Stu said, I mean, what could go wrong there? Kai said, I know, right? Deb said Mandela effects may be coming from Hadron Colliders. Kai said something like 5 years ago they started screwing around, try for who the hell knows. Stu said I'd have stack hat on Hev. Kai said from both. Paranormal Oz said that's what I reckon, Deb. Deb said they started with small ones, now onto the big one. Who's to say if they put them all on together? Yeah, you never know. Lucette said, hi again, Hev. How you going, Lucette? Kai said, Deb, that's their intention. Deb said evil is trying to stop us from winning. Yeah, they're not going to. God wins. Look, in the end, God wins. Paranormal Oz said, yeah, I heard that they can run all the colliders together. Oh, no. J1 said, end of the White Rabbit. Kai said, I'm guessing America's trying to stop it or fix it. More likely assist in it. Deb said, yes, it's good to watch funny, feel-good stuff videos. Yeah, so I watched the two black guys going around dancing in the street and in supermarkets and shopping centres and stuff, and getting other people to dance with them just for a minute or two. It's like people are letting go and, you know, having a good time, you know. I don't know. I think it's good. I was dancing around. I did aerobics yesterday and then started dancing around my lounge room last night, right? And I'm pretty bad at dancing, actually, at the moment. So, but it was funny. And I got a good workout because after half an hour, everything was aching. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. I thought that's what aerobics was supposed to do. But no, dancing made me realise there were more muscles there I hadn't used in a while. So I'm actually feeling it today. So there you go. Just dancing around your lounge room like a fruitcake. Good exercise, mate. Makes you feel happy for like half an hour. Don't mind, man, just lighting a candle for my cup of tea. MJ said it works. J1 said it could be a com. Okay, hang on, let's scroll down. Paranormal Oz said agree, Deb. Deb said they're so scared of the new world coming. MJ said they are ridiculous. Conchega said Kai, DJT is a time traveller. That honestly, Conchega, I might agree with you again. That wouldn't surprise me. Deb said, you are a naughty girl, Hev. So are we. Why? What did I do wrong? Paranormal Oz said, hey, Hev. Kai said, search most racist song ever made, Parade. D? Friggin' autocorrect. I'll look at it afterwards. I don't want to play it on here because I can't get up. I can play a couple of shorts, but I can't play anything of any, like, for any length of time. And I've got a feeling today might trigger it again. Kachega said the stem cells from the umbilical cord are sold to companies for profit. Yes, they are. Deb said, gets us all, Kai. Kachega said, Deb, naughty? What was I naughty about? What did I do? Deb, tell me what I did. Kai said, Yowie, yeah, a birth tissue donation place next door to my neurologist. Really? Deb said, I have to learn to live with naughty. Kai said, now I got no choice usually. Kai said, oh my God, now that I'm getting shaky, must be stoned. Oh God, love you. Now that you're getting shaky, you got no choice. Yeah, I'm hoping they can fix everything that's wrong with us, Kai, honestly. And soon. Especially for people like Kai. Deb said, thank you, our doctor in the house has all the knowledge. Shannon said, Easter Bunny is now on the terrorist watch list. Stu said, that makes it even more interesting, Yowie. He is a she. The 4 kids must have heard a lot then. Menacing Muskrat, how you going? J1 said, I got a rabbit trap in my grab bag. Kai said, spaghetti babies. Everyone's saying hello to Menacing Muskrat. Menacing said, Canadian leadership debates are on. Oh my, so are the Australian ones. And God, it's a letdown, mate. Shannon said, rabbit pies are delicious. We call them subterranean chicken. Stu said, yeah, I got a trap too, J1. Nothing like the sound of Hollow Point 22, though. Deb said, I gave up cigarettes for weed. Kai said, I'm still breathing. Little shaky lately. That's good, Kai, as long as you keep breathing and taking put one foot in front of the other, sort of. You know, just keep going, mate. Menacing Muskrat said the Astera eggs were dyed red, adrenochrome ritual. Oh, interesting, Menacing Muskrat. Deb said, yes, Menacing, Kai is a worry. Stu said, every time I go up my driveway, 4 rabbits scurry away. They're safe from me nowadays. I'm too slow nowadays. J1 said they're not noughts without the Astro. Yeah. Menacing Muskrat said, see the Baphomet in their astronauts logo? Yes, I did. Yep, they do. They did have that. Where was I up to? This cigarette, I've lit it about 5 times already. It just keeps going out. Okay, I'm around here somewhere. Kai said, Deb, I did a live a couple of days ago explaining, did a painting too. Lisette said, J1 lol. Deb said, so sorry I missed your live, Kai. Kai says, no biggie, Deb, I'm not monetized, so they're just there to be there. Deb said, it was a ritual, big penis going nowhere. Deb said, I'm disappointed we don't get notified. Yeah, Kai said, a very important launch. Menacing Muskrat has put my lunch break, the link to the lunch break channel in there. Kai said, quick release. Deb said, nobody complains. They will take everything for us. J1 said, Deb, yep, Osiris fertility ritual. Deb said, what's for breakfast? I'm having scrambled eggs. Kai said, thanks, Muskrat. It's an awesome channel. Deb said, thank you, J1. Kai said, it corrects the narrative hilariously. Deb said, no way would I be young again. It took long enough to get this far. It's been hard work. I'd like to be younger, like 20 years younger or so, right? But with the knowledge I have now. That would be great. Not going to happen, but it'd be great, you know. Menacing Muskrat said, no problem, Kai. Deb said, so did you film the aerobics for us? No, I didn't. Not yesterday, no. Dolores said, finally caught you live. Woohoo. Hi, everyone. How you going, Dolores? Kai said, film yoga, popping at accidental fart live. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen to me. Stu said, hope you enjoy spring, Muskie. Menacing Muskrat said, there's many colliders. They're trying to break through the veil. Kai said, exactly, Muskrat. Kai said, Wonderland. Menacing Muskrat said, loving spring, got my seedlings to the greenhouse today. Yeah, good stuff, Menacing Muskrat. Conchega said, Deb, hubba bubba. Don't worry about our Hev. She has all the goods. Which goods? What are we talking about here? Deb said, yes, dancing is the best exercise. Menacing Muskrat said, we can dance to God, Deb. Conchega said, menacing, play some classical music to them. Watch the growth explode. Kai said, when I dance, it's the horizontal bop. Oh, God, love you, Kai. Deb said, you gave the naughty laugh, Hev, wondering why you were naughty. There you go. I don't know. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, Kai said, or a seizure. Oh, poor, God love you, Kai. You poor thing. I seriously feel for you. That's Kai's way of dancing, okay? Robert said the Schumann resonance frequency is off the charts again. Oh, it is again. I haven't seen that. Deb said, your laugh, Hev, sounds a little naughty. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So my laugh is naughty. Okay, sorry, guys. Can't help that. Conchega said the missionary position is now Mission Impossible. Menacing Muskrat said this is a great channel, Hev. The People's Voice on Rumble. Yeah, I think I've subbed to it. Kai said, so true, time is cruel. Kai said, 5-10 years, it's pushing rope. Deb said, hello, Robert. And yes, we are flying high earthers, leaving the old negative vibrations behind, hence all the crazy behaviour. We can see the difference in vibrations. Stu said, I don't know why, but I picked up a surfboard the other day from a reuse centre. Haven't been wiped out for around 40 years now. All good luck with that, Stu. Kai said, oh, geez, I hope I never have a seizure during relations with... Yep, okay. You never know, Kai. It might make it better. Sorry. I didn't mean that, Kai. God love you. It's the Aussie sense of humour, like, you know. I don't know. That'd be interesting anyway, Kai. I don't recommend filming it or anything, but, you know, it might be interesting. Dolores said, I'd rather see you dancing than yoga. Oh, would you? I look like, well, who was it? Goldie Hawn in the house sitter video where she's just stomping and jumping and being an idiot. Yeah, that's what I did yesterday around the lounge room. Oh, dear. Menacing Muskrat said, me too, Hev, with all the mistakes I've learnt from. Yeah, exactly. Stu said, make sure you do a safety dance, Hev. I was, actually. That was one of the songs. Stu. It really was. It was on a short, and like the guys were dancing and people were dancing, and it wasn't just the two black guys, it was other people as well doing it as well. And one of them did the safety dance. Yep, and I was dancing to that too. Okay. Menacing said, Conchega Yowie, I was thinking about playing some classical music. Kai says, seizures are not dancing. Yeah, I know, Kai. Yeah, no. Stu said, safety, still little keyboards. Deb said, we love your laugh, Hev. Yeah, a lot of people do, actually. They laugh when I laugh, and they're laughing at me. I know that, at my laugh, but it's fun. Kai said, relations. Conchega said, menacing muskrat, watch a video on a tomato plant that grew 15 feet high, produced 15,000 fruit, all from filtered light and classical music. Oh, my goodness. Deb said, oh, my God, Kai, safety. Stu's laughing. Dolores said, hi, Kai, praying for a miracle for you. Yes, definitely. Kai said, it is what it is, Deb, all in God's plan. Out to lunch said, is a lounge room like our living room? Yes, the living room, where you have your TV and your lounge suite or your couch or whatever you want to call it. That one. Menacing Muskrat shared Mr. MBB on Schumann and Resonance and everything. Yep. Deb said, I like ELO all around the world and Queens don't stop me now. Yep. Out to lunch said Menacing, right. Kai said, to me, a lounge is like a big doctor's waiting room. Oh, okay. Yeah, we call our couch or our sofa a lounge, and that's why we call it the lounge room, because the sofa or the lounge sits in the lounge room. Yeah, so it's one of them. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to leave it here for today. Join me tomorrow when we have a bit of news here on YouTube, and then hopefully Tim is joining us, and we're going to talk medical talk on Rumble. Yeah, so hopefully we will see you there. Out to lunch said lounge chairs are like the ones near the pool. Oh, okay, yep. Conchega said Deb went to footy park in the 70s from Broken Hill with some mates to see ELO. Great band, great music. I like ELO too. Okay, with that, good night all. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.